2017 child support review. I wasn't always the pissed off parent. Got married at 22, had two kids, put myself through college, busted my butt, and got my house paid off by the time I was 36. But then my now ex wife became unhappy with her life and destroyed hers, mine, and the kids. After four counselors, silver bullet attempts, and two previous attempts to divorce me, I made sure the third one stuck. In Kangaroo Family Court, quickly learned that my part in the unholy process was to be the ATM. In exchange for my freedom and being able to see my children 50% of the time, I was forced to agree to pay $1,000 a month in baby mama support, aka child support, plus all their health, dental, etc., as well as turn over most of my assets. So I had freedom, or so I thought. Over the next 3 years, dealt with her wackiness. She even tried to come back to me. When that didn't work, she took me back to child support court for even more money. So I went to the outhouse known as child support court. There I got to deal with Jabba the Karen and the hose beast. Listen in as Jabba not only threatened me with court 5 or more times, she even told my ex-wife that what I said didn't matter. It's about 17 minutes long, but it gives you an idea of how these pieces of trash operate and try to use scare tactics, which don't work.
My name is David. I'm a child support officer. I'm not an attorney. I'm reviewing your case, but I'm missing some information. So it looks like you're carrying medical through another source. Well, you're ordered to carry through another source. So how are you covering the medical insurance? Through your employer?
No.
Okay, that's through another source then. Through like maybe a spouse or?
Private.
Okay. Well, what I need to know is A, how many people are covered, and who's covered, and then break it down from there. Because part of the figuring to see if the child support is going to change is how much you're paying in medical support for the two kids on this case. So, yeah. So, who's all covered? Who all do you cover?
Myself, David, and Daniel.
Okay, that's it?
That's it on this policy, yes.
Okay. So what I would need to know is how much would it be for you only if you were the only one covered, and then you plus them. So we take you out of what you're paying, and then that's what you get credited towards for calculation and figuring your child support.
Okay. So I guess my understanding of how that works through the private Blue Cross Blue Shield is 200 and something a person. So it's like in the 250-ish range, I guess.
Do you have something in writing that says how much you're paying per month?
Well, yeah.
Are we needed to change the medical language? Are you guys fine with how the medical language is right now? That you're covering through another source?
We will see how things go.
Are you wanting to change the medical language? No, that is what I have. But they're giving me for their cards. So is that not working? No, it's working. Oh, okay. 734.76. The premium, that's for medical only?
Well, yeah, I had dental and all other stuff, but I split the way
would be if it was just you. So divided by 3, what is that? Well, because he's carrying 3 people on the policy. Okay. So, um, so that's $244 a person, and then multiplied by 2 for the 2 kids on this case, and that's going to be $489.84. So that I figure your income 3 different ways, and so that's below any of the your maximum medical credit cap. Your maximum medical cap is 9% of your gross income, so that works. So that would be the credit you would get if you agree to me figuring the medical credit that way. And that might be actually how it's figured. Sometimes these policies that are done through another source, they actually cannot give you a breakdown, or they won't. If it was just him, they would have to refigure it. It's not like through your HR, through an employer, where they can tell you, well, yeah, the breakdown is, if it was just him, it would be this amount. So trying to do the 3. Okay. I figured, actually I figured your income 2 different ways. And there's a third way I can do it too. So we have access to your gross income with your current employer from the second quarter 2016 through the second quarter 2017. So I looked at your last year wages and figured it, and then I looked at your first 2 quarters of this year and figured it. Looking at the last year, your total income was $93,461.58 divided by 12 months. That came to an average gross income of $7,788.46 per month. Figuring the 2 quarters of this year, it came to $45,000 divided by 6 months. That's $75,000 a month, $75,003 per month average gross income. So the difference of that is $288.43 for those 2 figures. So I can figure both, the child support on both. For the last year, and do you have any other biological children?
No.
Okay. The child support would be $1,331.86. Figuring it on this year's wages alone, it would be $1,283. So, that's it. What do you guys want to do? which is an increase of $283 per month. Um, the other is, um, based on the last year wages, the child support will be $1,331.86. So an increase of $331. Of course, we'll go to the last. Copy as well for that. Oh, but I was under the understanding that it was through his job. Well, we have it in our order. I'm not going to look at the order, but I mean we have it in our system as he's ordered to carry through another source. So I have to pull up the order anyway. I'll look at it. And really, the goal is to have the cheapest insurance, but that has the best coverage. So, I mean, if that's cheapest for him, then that was, you know, you guys would agree with that too. The divorces are always confusing because it's on our orders will say it's a particular person's responsibility and how they're supposed to cover it. Whoever wrote this ordered both of you to provide medical support for each child as set out in this order. So,
Well, there's a few things I wanted to discuss on the child support amount that may not be, I guess, understood. I know probably some of the majority of your cases. Me and the ex-wife and I, we have 50 custody, true 50 custody, and we need to have her wages imputed to this order at the very least.
our family code doesn't do that. But
Or done that.
right. So what I can do is I can just terminate this altogether and just set it for court.
Please.
It'll go to court in about 3 months. Both of you will be served. Is the addresses that you guys provided the good addresses for service?
Yeah, okay.
So, off to child support court we go. Funny story. When my ex was bragging to the OAG attorney about how she took care of the kids' school lunches, I pointed out how I actually pay for it since she put them on welfare lunch. The OAG attorney told her, actually, he and I are the ones paying for it, not you. I had previously submitted exhibits to the court to push for no child support since we have 50-50. It was even crayon up to match the judge's educational level. He promptly ignored the exhibits and listened to how my ex-wife wanted the child support raised to $1,600 a month because she just got hooked up with a new house rental and her expenses had gone up. After she told him that she had no plans to get a job since she lives off the child support and welfare, he adjusted the child support down to $825, only due to my income being less. When she found out that she wasn't going to get the $1,600, she started bawling like a child and demanded I get thrown in jail. I laughed at her and just walked out of court. It is sad that I consider paying $825 plus medical and dental a win, but that's the Texas OAG for you.